Hey guys, it's day 156 and we're going to get started with today's math. Today's aim is that Kipsters will be able to explain multiplication as repeated addition. But before we get into that, I want you guys to make sure you focus on your PDN. Make sure you write your first name, last name, circle your homeroom, and we will get started. The first sentence is asking us to solve for the answer. The Oklahoma City Thunder basketball team had the ball for 1,321 seconds. The Golden State Warriors had the ball for 789 seconds. How many more seconds did Oklahoma City have the ball than Golden State? Now, we have to think of our order of operation. We're looking for the difference. So that should give you guys a clue of what you need to do. And at the end, it says ready, set, sprint. You're going to answer the multiplication problems. You can use your chart that you have in your folder. And when we come back, I'll go over the answers for those of you who had issues with answering the PDN. But for everybody else, make sure you take your time and get it done. So press pause now. Welcome back. Now, when we revisit the question, the Oklahoma City Thunder basketball team had the ball for 1,321 seconds. The Golden State Warriors had the ball for 789 seconds. How many more seconds did Oklahoma City have the ball than Golden State? We have to think about the difference. We want to know what's the difference between the two amounts of seconds that each team had. So when we're thinking about the difference, we automatically have to refer to subtraction. Now, on the line, I created the number sentence 1,321, take away 789, and that equals 532. Now, I do want to take some time to revisit this so you can see how I came up with the answer. I don't want you to think that I eyeballed it or that it was automatic. I want you to actually see the work that I put in to come up with this difference. Now, when I put the numbers together, they have to align. So let me go ahead and take away the underline for these two. And you guys can actually see what's going on. Now, when we subtract 1, actually, when we subtract 9 from 1, we can't do that. So we have to regroup. Now, we talked about regrouping all last week. So if we take away 1 from that 2 and make that a 1 and then turn the 1 into an 11 in the 1's place, now we have 11 take away 9. Now, when we think about it, 11 take away 9 is 2. And now in the 10's place, we're left with 1 take away 8. We know we can't do that, so we have to reborrow and regroup again. And that makes this 11. So 11 take away 8 would be 3. And that's our answer. And now for the 13, we have a 12. 12 take away 7 is 5, and that is how we got our answer, which is 532. Now let's move on to the ready, set, sprint. All of these multiplication problems I was able to do mentally in my head. If you need a piece of scratch paper or if you have to look at your multiplication chart, that is fine. We are all moving at our own pace, so make sure your answers are the same as mine before you move on. Flip the page. Today, Kipsters will be able to explain the multiplication as repeated addition. Now, we all know how to add. Last week, we reviewed addition and subtraction, and we worked on it for an entire unit at the beginning of the school year, and throughout the school year, it's been spiraled in. So we're rock stars at addition. Now let's think about the concept of multiplication. Multiplication is just repeated addition. So make sure you get that in. Repeated addition. Now, the answer to a multiplication problem is called a product. With that information, we can add it to our mental Rolodex. We know that the answer for addition is sum, the answer for subtraction is difference, and the answer for multiplication is a product. So that's something new that you've learned today. Now remember that when we do our exit ticket and it asks us, what have you learned new today? You can actually say that I learned that a multiplication problem's answer is called the product. Now let's keep it moving. Addition is putting numbers together to find your sum. Now, subtraction is taking away a number from the total to find a part. And we can just keep it as that. Now, here's an example. Miss Adams goes to the bookstore and buys 4 books. Each book costs $6. How much money does she spend at the bookstore? Now we know that each book is $6. So we can go ahead and fill that in. And we have a total price for each book. $6, $6, $6, and $6. Well, if we wanted to represent that as repeated addition, we would have 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 to find our total. Now for multiplication, we have 1 book, 2 books, 3 books, 4 books. We would do it this way. We would say 4 books multiplied by $6. And then we would be able to find our product. So 4 times 6, or 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. Now, if we look at both, we have the number 6 for repeated addition listed 4 times. For multiplication, we simply have the number 4 and the multiplication symbol times 6. Now, if I were to add 6 and 6, I would have 12. If I would add 6 more, I would have 18. And if I were to add 6 more, I would have 24. So my sum for my repeated addition is 24. Now we're going to do the same concept. If I have 6 4 times, my product would be 24 as well. So this repeated addition problem is the same and equal to this multiplication problem. My product is 24. Let's move on to another example. So what they did was give us a repeated addition problem. 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. And what they need us to do is to give them that as a multiplication problem. So my known is 10. I'm working with 10. but how many times am I working with 10? So I'd have to go back to the repeated addition problem. I'm working with 10 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So 4 times 10 equals, or 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 equals. Now, if we were to think about the ones place, I have zeros in each part of the ones place. So I can just bring that down. But in the tens place, I have a 1, a 1, a 1, and a 1. So let's add those up. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in my tens place, I should have a 4. So I know now that 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 equals 40. I also know that repeated addition is the same thing as multiplication, so 4 times 10 has to be 40. Now, my product ends up being 40. My sum is 40. We're going to have a little more practice on this for those of you who aren't getting the concept. But what I really want you to take away from this is that repeated addition is the same thing as multiplying. Let's move on to the independent practice. So right now I want you to show you know, and you're going to complete the same thing that we completed in the example. Take your time. If you need to, rewind back to the beginning of this video so you guys can see firsthand how I completed the question so you can complete your questions. We actually have 3. So if you need some help, you should log into our daily Zoom meeting, which happens at 12 noon. The link is in the announcement for today, Monday, and I'll see you then if you have any questions. Even if you don't, it would be awesome to see all of you guys tomorrow in class at noon, because I do want to make sure that every question that you have, whether it's about math or reading, that it is addressed. I don't want you guys trying to figure this out on your own. So please make sure you log into the Zoom meeting today at noon. See you there. Bye.